for anything and everything about Inside the USN. I am your host, Veli, and I'm here with my right-hand man, Stokes. Listen, we've had upsets. We've seen Titans fall. How would you describe the action here in Stage 2?
Stage 2 has been truly electric, guys. Let me tell you, been so many upsets, clippable moments, everything has happened inside of Stage 2. I would definitely say it's been a massive, massive improvement inside of competitions in Stage 1.
Most definitely. So, in case you guys don't know, hopefully you guys are regulars so far. You might be asking yourself, what is Inside the USN? It's anything and everything, and what we will discuss. We have a special Venmo announcement. We have the Western summary, the Eastern summary, and also the Q&A. I would love to introduce every single one of you to the Venmo Community Spotlight, where every single one of you will have a chance to win up to $700 every single week. Every Monday, we will feature plays from around our Rainbow Six community that highlights fun, fail, or otherwise memorable moments in the Rainbow Six Siege matches played and submitted by you, the viewer. We will choose 3 moments each week, and in addition to getting your videos highlighted on the show, you will win cash into your Venmo account and have a chance to attend the U.S. Nationals Finals event, as well as a trip for you and your 4 friends to hang out and play with Team USA. That sounds amazing. The weekly prizes, you'll see it on your screen right now, is first place will pay up to $500. Second and third place will win $100 each as well. With that being said about the Venmo Community Spotlight, I cannot wait to see every single one of your clips. I'm pretty sure they're going to be amazing. But with that out of the way, let's get into the gameplay that happened last week, starting with the Western summary.
So we're going to be starting things off with TSM versus Elevate, which ended in a 7-5. Battle of the Roamers, but kind of overshadowed by the ability of one player and one player alone. That was on the side of TSM, and you might be thinking Bolo, but it's not. It's going to be Merc. Merc, with his ability to entry frag all on his lonesome, finding so many kills to open the door for his team, proved to be a very big thorn in the side of Elevate and ended up winning them that match 7-5. Not to be overshadowed by the man that had a couple more kills and the likes of Achieved, working more on those refrags, and that refrag potential also spelt disaster for the likes of Elevate. Moving on to our bad versus the Pittsburgh Embers, which we had one standout player in that as well. It's going to be Foso, really spearheading his team to victory with their good utility usage, especially with Lion. I know it hurts a little bit to say that, but hey, it worked out really, really well. And it worked well with how aggressive they could possibly get with that utility usage and the management that they had with that. Our bad could just not find any foothold inside of their defenses with that setup on the field. So we're going to have the Pittsburgh Embers taking this match full steam. Last but surely not least, because this is more or less a battle of the Titan versus Goliath, if I would say so myself, at least among amateur teams. It's TSM versus the Pittsburgh Embers. And really what this showed was amateur teams are no slouch. The Pittsburgh Embers in that last match before showed how good they were with utility usage, and they definitely showed it again with the amount of utility they could possibly bring to the table to really mix things up and make it to where TSM was not comfortable in their defenses and even their offenses. Very aggressive in showing just how good their roam game could possibly be, even from the likes of Forest. We actually had a Caveira pickup eventually inside of that match. Didn't work out for him, but still, you like to see them try and bring new things to the table that aren't presented usually. Even with all of that, though, we still got to see the true potential of what TSM can possibly be. And even though the West Coast is usually the best coast, we still got to break down the Eastern Conference. So let's get into it.
And on the Eastern side of things, we had a pretty interesting day. The day was full of amazing matches, but the first match of the day was ZQWE, and they went against Attempt with some familiar faces, such as Benji and Carlito. So it was an interesting matchup. With ZQWE starting off on defense, pretty funny name, I know. They won all of the first 3 rounds on defense with their unfamiliar pace and play style. They played extremely passive, and you can tell that Attempt, they got pretty frustrated having to look for roamers, and they weren't able to take over the way that they wanted to. But once the size flipped, the meta kicked in. The top tier meta from Attempt kicked in, and they didn't look back. They didn't lose a round, and Attempt, they moved on fast. Carlito was definitely the MVP, going 16-8. He had a 2.0 KD, and that man was an absolute monster. But with the second game of the day, we saw the most interesting matchup of them all. We saw Rise Nation and Space Station Gaming, which are two teams that we saw at the U.S. Nationals Finals way back in December over in Las Vegas, where I first met Sam and Blue. But with this matchup, it was extremely one-sided. Space Station Gaming, they wound up winning 4 rounds in a row, and you saw clutch plays coming from players like Bosco, Thinking Nade, and even Rampy most of the time. And Rise Nation, there were so many blunders. It was pretty comical. I felt kind of bad for them. There was a round especially where Rise, they had not only a team kill, but also a player jumped off of a building and killed himself. I didn't know what was happening in that matchup, but with Rise Nation's history with the U.S. Nationals program, I expect them to come back even better than ever next time we see them on stream. But there's an interesting stat. Bosco, Rampy, and Thinking Nade combined had 29 kills. Rise Nation as a team only had 23. So with that being said, Space Station Gaming, they were on point. They were firing on all cylinders, and they moved on to the finals. All of my days of watching Rainbow Six Siege, I've never seen a game like Game 3, which was the final game of the day. It was insane. It was Space Station Gaming going against Attempt, and the winner of this, we're going to make it over to the conference matchups in order to make it to LAN. So, in the very first game, is unordinary when you see action start within the first 30 seconds of the round, but this was an entirely different case. Carlito comes out of the bat just swinging, getting a 3K of his own. But also on the other side of the map, Foltz had a 3K. So both of these players, they started off hot, but Carlito was even hotter. He ended the round with an ace. He killed the entire team by himself. And then the second round, Carlito had a 3K. So to put this into perspective, Carlito went 8-0 in 2 rounds. 8-0 in 2 rounds. But the interesting stat is that Carlito went 3-9 right after that, which was pretty insane. But this was an interesting matchup because it showed everybody that you should follow the rules. And with that being said, when Attempt was up 6-5, all they had to do was win one more round. Flack used an illegal character skin, which had us reset the round, give Space Station a win, and then we went right into overtime. In overtime, it was back and forth, but both teams had to win 2 rounds in order to move on. So with both teams sitting at 1 win apiece, it all came down to the very last round, which is what the USN is about. And Space Station Gaming pulled away the star of the entire game. You're going to have to give it to the new guy. You're going to have to give it to Foltz, man. Foltz was a standout player. He was clutching games left and right, getting 2Ks, 3Ks when it mattered. And he showed not only Space Station Gaming, his teammates, his organization, but he also showed the rest of the world that he's a real deal and he is the best fit for this roster. So with that being said about the western and eastern side of things, let's jump into some more fun. If you guys utilize the hashtag R6USN and you asked us a question about anything out there, listen, we're not afraid. We'll answer them all.
Oh, of course.
So let's go ahead and jump into the first question of the day. It's going to be, when does Bolo play?
Well, it's more or less whendoesboloplay.com. That's the answer. You can go to whendoesboloplay.com, and it'll tell you exactly when Bolo plays. The man updates it almost every single day. I mean, I just checked it about 20 minutes ago. So he checks it. I mean, he updates it almost every single second.
By the
so,
second.
yeah, make sure you guys go over and check that out to help out somebody that tried really, really hard to set up something kind of funny. But it's pretty cool.
Raise awareness.
Raise awareness.
There you have it. So let's jump into the second question. It's going to be, what's the most hyped up match of this season so far? Oh, and why is it TSM versus Luminosity? I wasn't going to say that, but you can take it away.
Okay, all right. So TSM versus Luminosity, here's the reasoning. You got, on one side of the coin, you got TSM, you got Bolo, you got Achieved, and, oh, wait, hold on, that's Merc. You got Merc there as well. You got so much frag potential and just so many, so many people trying to back them, especially from the likes of Bolo. I mean, you can't ignore it. He's got a massive fan base. I mean, have you guys seen chat? On the other side of things, though, you have Luminosity, and Luminosity are absolutely terrifying right now. They're bringing a new sort of play style to the field that we really haven't seen before. You know, they're extremely aggressive, and they do not stop. We've seen a lot of teams present that. I mean, we've seen Rec present it. Even other teams just, flip the switch and try and get aggressive at key moments. But this team's different. They do it constantly, and it works, and they know when to slow things down and when to pick things back up. So to see a younger team with that amount of potential already, very, very dangerous.
Okay, so that wasn't my first pick at all, and after you just described all of that, I want to see that game right now.
Oh, me too.
All right, so the third question of the day is going to be, okay.
Oh, no.
Is Parallax Gaming the new North American powerhouse? Look at me. Relax, all right? Are they a powerhouse, Sam?
No.
No, it's too early to crown them.
Yeah.
And they only won one game against a top-tier team. We need to see more of that, man. You can't just win one time against Dark Zero and think you're the best.
Yeah, they'd be like the Susquehanna Sonics beating Team Empire one time at a best of one. They're like, dude, we are the best team in the world.
No, it doesn't work like that.
That's not how that works. I'm sorry. I'm
No.
sorry. So, need to prove yourself a little bit more, especially when, you just got into the USN and you still have to go through the closed qualifier. You haven't even went down the full road yet, You're only about halfway there.
Yeah, if you make it past the qualifier to get to land, then you know what? We might say that they're one of the powerhouses in this program, but
it depends
on
how
the
you do
margin
it.
that how you do it. So, with the last question of the day, let's go ahead and see what it is. There are no ties in USN. Isn't that confusing for Space Station Gaming?
Yeah, because instead of tying, they actually win. So we actually had a SSG win. I know, guys, it's crazy.
It's rare.
No ties here. We're not dappered up right now. But actually had a W for SSG, and you guys are going to be seeing them in the closed qualifier pretty soon.
Yes, and with that wrapping up the Q&A section, remember, if you go ahead and utilize the hashtag R6USN, Stokes, Blue, and I will be happy to answer anything out there. Questions, discussing a topic, hey, it doesn't matter. But we're at the part of the show that I don't like so much, man. It makes me sad.
Why does it make you sad, Bill?
It's the wrap-up.
Oh, yeah, that makes me sad, too.
It's the wrap-up. Yeah. But we do have some good news. July 6th will be the next USN qualifier. Make sure you guys sign up. Speaking of Parallax Gaming, we've seen a lot. The theme of Stage 2 has been the upset story.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
We've seen up-and-coming teams beat these top-tier teams that they have no business of beating. And what does that tell you? Competition is rising. If you go ahead and enter these free-to-enter tournaments, you might have a chance to play not only to be casted here on stream, but to make it to the main stage at LAN for that huge prize pool.
Yeah. It's Stage 2, top 10 anime betrayals. That's what it is. He's like, right there, like, oh, we should just beat you. And they're like, ha. No. It's just how that works. But as you guys also know, this week we got a big holiday coming up in the side of the U.S. It's going to be July 4th, guys. Make sure to spend some time with your family. Turn that console off. Turn that PC off just for a couple hours. Spend some time with your family. Go eat some hot dog. Make some burgers. Shoot some fireworks. Do something with the fam. But 2 days later, it's grind time, baby. Make sure you guys are inside of that tournament that he was just talking about. Search July 6th. Open qualifier. Don't have to pay a dime. All you got to do is sit down, play it. Might play some of the best teams inside of North America.
So like Stokes said, make sure you go ahead and spend some time celebrating that great American holiday and have fun with your family and friends. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in so far. Trust me, I read the tweets, I read the chat, I read the message boards, I read the comments under YouTube. The USN program has the best fans out there, and I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you for tuning in every single week. And my closing thoughts, that's pretty much it. I'm your host, Veli. This is Stokes. We'll catch you next time on Inside the USN.